Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's a weekend, so let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, September 26th, a whole lot of stuff. National Compliance Officer Day, National Dumpling Day. I like dumplings. You don't.
Yeah, I don't.
National Johnny Appleseed, National Shamu the Whale Day, National Pancake Day, National Situational Awareness Day, so kind of look around and see where you are. National Public Lands Day, Save Your Photos Day, National Hunting and Fishing Day, National Family Health and Fitness Day, USA, National Ghost Hunting Day, National Seat Check Day, and National Singles Day. All that on Saturday. Sunday, National Chocolate Milk Day, National Crush a Can Day. What?
Okay.
Corned Beef Hash Day, National Scarf Day, National Gold Star Mother's Day, and National Gay Men's HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Very, very busy weekend. And I've got a guest that I'm going to be talking with. He's got a new book, and it's about Michael Jackson. The guy's name is Gary. I think it's Revel or Revel. I'll be chatting with Gary in just a bit.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. I got not 1, not 2, but 3 different studies today, Heidi.
Okay.
I've got these things stacking up, so I figured I should get through some of them. How about this one? Study published by the Journal of Preventative Medicine found chlamydia and gonorrhea increasing in young women. So more and more young women coming down with that. So, be careful out there.
Yeah, that's not good.
New. They sound like beautiful flowers, but they're not.
No, they're definitely not.
A new study found that fish can get exposed to noise pollution and die early. So keep it quiet around your fish. What does that even mean? And a study found that a growing number of virtual learning sessions are being hacked by people displaying pornography.
Oh, that's nice.
I think it's pornography. But yeah, don't do it either way. It's a bad idea. This is Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. It's a lesson in reading, writing, and reefer, apparently. Florida moms and dads have been spotted smoking weed and drinking and walking around half naked in the background of their online classes for their children. So the children are doing their online classes.
Yeah, well, you forget.
Yeah. Frustrated teachers say at board meetings, parents, please make sure that you have on the proper clothing when you're walking around behind your child's computer. We've seen them in their drawers and their bras and everything else. Says they also said we see everything else from parents puffing on giant joints. Moms exposed with ankle monitors. It says this. It's a bit of a distraction. So help your children at their computer. Please do not appear with big joints or with your hands holding cigarettes or drinks or anything else. So, yeah, they said we've seen it all.
During the school day?
Yeah, apparently. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A trailer for Nomadland is online. The movie, starring France McDormand, follows a woman in her 60s who, after losing everything in the Great Recession, embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling modern-day nomad. It's going to come in theaters. Isn't it adorable? They think that it's going to be in theaters. No, I'm sorry, December 4th. I hope that all theaters are back and we're back to normal by then. That would be fabulous. I'd love that. Disney Plus has released the first trailer for the second season of The Mandalorian. We've not watched this, but I know people who have that really did like it. If you're really into the whole Star Wars universe, they say, this is some deep universe lore. All kinds of interesting stuff that's going on. October 20th is when it's going to hit Disney Plus Season 2, but I've got the first trailer available now. And Quibi, we've not watched this, but I know some folks that have, not enough apparently. Quibi is trying to sell their startup for $5 billion. Owners of the $5 billion startup Quibi, which stands for Quick Bites, says they're looking for a buyer because they specialize in short stories, but they're not able to get, they're not making money.
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah,
have we talked about this?
Oh, we have. You were probably texting someone.
I don't know what Quibi is.
It's a platform for people with a short attention span. You should love it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Charlie Sheen is denying reports that he had anything to do with his ex-wife, Denise Richards, making the decision to leave Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That could have probably been part of a big screen, little screen, but it landed here for some reason.
Why would that be his fault?
I don't know, but everybody's blaming him. He's like, why is everybody blaming me for everything?
Exactly.
I have nothing to do with this one. Never before. Hey, how you doing? Never before seen photos have surfaced of Jeffrey Epstein cavorting with bikini-clad women on his private island. So there's new images that are popping up, and there are some that are saying they think this might be from Ms. Maxwell's collection, and they're hoping that more information is going to be coming out of that too. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Elon Musk's tunnel for self-driving cars that runs underneath Las Vegas is almost complete. Now, I'm going to ask you, seriously, had you ever heard of that before I just uttered those words?
I had no idea that they were building a tunnel.
How in the world did we not know that was happening? And I'm sure there's probably...
I don't live there, so...
I know, but I'm saying there's probably a lot of people listening that do know, but we go there a lot. I didn't know anything at all about this.
No idea.
So, I don't know. I've got a link to the story.
Into everything.
He is everything in there. Anything interesting that's happening in the world. And Elon Musk is also doing this. I'm like, what is he doing? A study finds that Americans have barely improved their eating habits. Okay, but they have improved, is what you're saying.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
I lost a pound. Hey, I lost weight. Close your eyes and count your toes, Heidi. If you come up with just 9, that's okay. Half of us, when you are not looking, when you count your toes, you miss a toe somehow. Oh. And the second toe, the one right next to the big toe, is the one most likely to be, quote, lost. In a study, 19 healthy young men and women closed their eyes while their toes were gently prodded one at a time. This was done over and over again. Each time they were asked which toe was being touched, researchers were surprised. 9 out of 19 volunteers believed one of their toes was missing. That didn't get touched, but it did, but they didn't feel it. The bizarre study revealed that we have great difficulty in telling our toes apart as well. Volunteers correctly guessed when their big toe or their little toe was being touched more than 90% of the time, but they struggled with the ones in the middle. They're like that, Fred, I don't know what that toe's called. What do you even call it? Big toe, pinky toe, I know those, but what do you call the other ones? I think that's the problem. And one final thing here. A survey of drivers revealed the best food to eat while driving. Heidi, what would you say is the best food to eat while driving?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Hamburgers.
That's not even on the list.
Really?
Candy bars would be number 1. So like, oh yeah, I can eat a candy bar while I'm driving. That's pretty simple. French fries, number 2. Potato chips, number 3, and chicken nuggets, number 4.
Oh, I could see chicken nuggets.
I one time ate spaghetti while driving, and I don't recommend that.
Yeah, and I think cereal once.
I did that, too. It was really dumb. I was young and hungry. Don't blame me.
It was like last week.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Our guest today is Gary Revel. He's got several different books. We're going to talk about one of them in particular, but we'll chat about some of the others as well. But this book is a fairly new book. It's called Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction. And this is a book about the music and the life and the career and the mystery of Michael Jackson. So on the phone with us right now, we have Gary. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Now, this book that you put out, tell me a little bit about how you came to write a book about the topic of Michael Jackson. Is there a connection there somehow?
Yeah, there is quite a connection. It started in the early 1990s. I had met Willie Hutch, who was an early producer and writer, and did me and Michael Jackson's songs. And as a matter of fact, he wrote the song "I'll Be There." He was actually one who wrote the lyrics to that song after.
Nice.
Yeah. And through Willie, I met some other people. Then my daughter, Rebecca, was asked to sing background for Michael Jackson on one of his children tour things. So we went there to them studios in Hollywood, and she recorded background. I met some more of Michael's people. He'd come in and went out. I didn't talk to him. But after that, I got a call. I guess this is how they found out about me. So I got a call from Ben Brown, who I later learned had produced Michael Jackson's first record. And and he asked for a meeting to talk to me about some things. And I said, well, I usually charge $250 an hour for the first hour, and then we see where it goes. And he says, well, you'll want to talk to me anyway. He said, it's about Michael Jackson. So I said, okay. And that's how it started.
That is fantastic. Now, the book, when people get a chance to read Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction, is the majority of this about his life, or is the majority of it about, you were saying you've kind of done an investigation into the death, which is quite a bizarre circumstance, isn't it?
Right, yes. Yeah, I began my investigation shortly after my meeting with Ben, when he asked me to get to the truth and get the story out to the public. And it took me years to finally finish and wrap this book up. But, I did an in-depth investigation of Michael Jackson's life from the time he was in Gary, Indiana as a 5-year-old boy until his death.
And the book that came out in April, Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction, I'll throw a link to that so people can find that online and if they're interested in getting that. But let's talk about some of the other books, because you've got several books. As I'm looking at your website, how many books do you have out, sir?
Well, now books that I've written, I only have 4 or 5. And I'm also a publisher, and I publish over 20 books, and they range from children's books to psycho-sexual stories. It's the whole range, the type of genres of literature.
I like how you say, I've only got 4 or 5 books. Well, that's quite a few books in my book.
Right.
So.
Well, my books include, one is a book of art. It's concept art. It's called GRIMPK. It's spelled GREMPK, and it's I deliberately used that spelling because I wanted a word that nobody else would find if they went looking for my book. Again, it's a very unusual book, and it's some of the pictures in it might be for people who aren't children. So I wouldn't recommend it for just any child to be given. But and then I have a book of poetry called Milestones. Then I have my autobiography, my first memoir, To Live or Maybe Not, and then the second memoir, which is Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction. And then I have a book called My Angel from Heaven, which details my new wife and new love with it's a May December biracial international marriage. It's a very complex and interesting story as well.
Very, very nice. Now, I'm looking on the listing here about this book, the one that's the new one, Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction. And it says in here that in addition to doing some investigating on this, you've also investigated assassinations of President Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., and in both cases found some things that maybe most people haven't necessarily heard of.
That's right. I began my investigation of the Martin Luther King assassination in Nashville, Tennessee. I was in Nashville, and I was working with an attorney, Jack Kershaw, who was James Earl Ray's attorney at the time, and he asked me to investigate the King killing. And I began working on that then, and that led me to the JFK and RFK and then some other things as well. Yeah, and I'll touch on that in To Live or Maybe Not. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of chapters that kind of relate to that investigation in my first memoir, To Live or Maybe Not.
And your background before this leads all the way back to Vietnam. You served in Vietnam, is that correct?
Well, I served in the Vietnam era, and I did some work. It was in the late '60s, and I did some work with COVID through the naval intelligence. I did some training with naval intelligence, and I did some work through a special department of the Pentagon. And I ended up doing some things that I talked briefly about in the book. But even to this day, I can't discuss everything I did because I signed three agreements when I was honorably discharged. One was not to talk about some things for 20 years, and another was not to ever talk about some things.
Okay. Well, certainly.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there.
Well, I certainly want to say thank you for your service to our country, and also thank you for taking the time to chat with me today, because this is all fascinating stuff, and I'm going to throw a link so people can find the books. Again, it's in the show notes for today. The newest book is called Don't Stop Dancing, Stranger Than Fiction. All of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Research shows that walking is good for your brain. Hey, we just went for a walk not long ago.
We did just go for a walk.
And also, according to a study, drinking tea is good for your brain. Hey, we should make some tea.
We should.
We have tea. Instead, I just made coffee.
Yeah.
I don't see a study for that. There you go. So if you want your brain to feel really good, go for a walk and drink some tea, according to a new study. That is today's fun fact. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline China. Imagine walking in the front door and realizing you've been burglarized. That would not be fun.
No.
Now imagine discovering the burglar has used your shower and your deodorant and your shampoo.
Oh.
Whereas yet the burglar has changed into your clothing and left his worn-out clothes behind. And your cash is also stolen. A guy in China had all of this happen, and the same guy that's been doing this, that did this to him, did it about a dozen other times. Police have no idea who is doing it and why, but they keep going in, breaking into someone's home, taking some cash, taking a shower.
I would be replacing everything in my bathroom.
Taking
if
a
you
shower
use your deodorant,
and then
did you use your toothbrush?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? I'd be getting rid of everything.
Yuck. That is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A wild brawl broke out between customers and workers at a Waffle House. Apparently, a patron's phone was being withheld behind the counter. Viral videos show this. The dust-up shared on Twitter shows a group of irate diners demanding staffers return the cell phone. Ring that one up so we can pay for that one, and then you can put that phone, and then you can put up that phone. I don't know what that means. One of the women could be heard shouting. Another member of the party chimed in, "Can I please get my," I'm not going to say on the radio the word, "phone? Somebody?" He then climbed behind the counter in a bid to retrieve his phone and was being restrained by employees. The man is seen repeatedly striking one of the workers as others were jumped. So it turned into an all-out brawl. A woman tries to wrestle the phone out of another employee's hands, and her wig got knocked off. It's unclear why the phone was being held from the customers and where this dust-up took place. They don't even know for sure which Waffle House. They know it was a Waffle House because you could tell, but they don't know where.
Jeez.
I don't know. Maybe they know now. This happened like a week ago. But I've got a link to the story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. An Oregon man showing his new handgun to a pal inside a supermarket. First of all, let's pause. Dumb place to do that.
You don't pull out a weapon.
He's like,
in
hey,
public.
check it out. And you're standing in an aisle.
Right.
Showing somebody a gun. Well, he accidentally
Really
shot
bad.
himself in the groin.
Oh, my.
Sunday night, 29-year-old Nicholas Ellingford fired an unintentional shot from his Glock 9mm while waiting to check out in a grocery store. The report stated the gun went off as he placed it back into his pants. Bullet went through his groin and out through his thigh. Airlifted to a hospital. Luckily, the bullet did not hit, that area. It went through the groin, but didn't hit that area. It could have been worse. But you don't play with guns ever, ever, ever. And if you don't know how to handle a gun, you shouldn't have one sticking in your pants.
Well, you shouldn't own one, period. If you're
whole-
not proficient, don't carry it.
That whole thing is just a cautionary tale. Thanks for listening to today's Moment of Da. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here you go. Fake news or Florida. A Florida woman named Lovely Butts tried to douse a juvenile with bleach and threatened to pistol whip the victim. Fake news or Florida?
I'll say Florida.
It's a true story. Happened at a Daytona Beach home. 64-year-old Lovely Butts, that's her real name, arrested on a pair of felonies, aggravated assault, child abuse, booked into the jail, released on bond. I'm not exactly sure why she was going to do this. She threatened to pistol whip the girl while holding a firearm. The minor described in a police report as a primary caregiver. So the primary caregiver, I believe, is Ms. Butts. And she's not doing a great job. We'll just put it that way. That's going to do it for our Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Here's the headline. After dad's food truck makes just $6 a day, daughter makes plea for help on Twitter.
Oh,
It's a really cool story. And I see a photo of the food truck, and it's actually a trailer, so I don't know why they still call it a food truck, not a food trailer. Either way, Elias Alves operates this food truck in Humble, Texas, has for 6 years. But recently, because of the pandemic, business has been slow. So one day, he only sold $6 worth of food. And he was saying, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing this. So his daughter, Giselle, looks like a lovely young lady, went to Twitter and said, hey, Twitter, I wouldn't normally do this, but my dad's taco truck business is struggling. He only sold $6 today. If you could retweet, I'd appreciate it so much. Then she put the address of where this is located, and it took not long for this to get retweeted more than 9,000 times.
Oh, that's great.
Says he doesn't really understand social media. He's not a young man by any means. So he shows up and there's a line of people, a big line of people. Some who had been waiting for almost 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he opens at 8 a.m. The people in the front of the line said, oh, we got here at 6. It's okay. We're fine. And then they're taking photos and posting online and letting people know,
8
hey.
a.m. for tacos?
Well, for food, yeah. So anyway, it says the business was so busy he had to close down twice to restock. What a great new problem to have. I just think this is such a cool thing. And here's one of the things that I would just love to encourage people in your own area. If you have the opportunity to do business with a local business where you know that, hey, they might be struggling right now, if you get that opportunity, we do all the time. We go out of our way to try to do business with local people who not only are they going to appreciate it, but sometimes without it, they might not be here in a week or two. So it's just a really great thing to do. And I love the fact that this guy's daughter went on Twitter and said, hey, can you help my dad?
Yeah.
You know, he went from $6 to, hey, we got to close so I can go get more food.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it.
That is such a cool story. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.